tonight, we'll take a look at the turnout voter registration in Pike County.
Plus, Troy students celebrate different cultures. Stay tuned, Troy. TrojanVision Nightly News starts now.
From the high-definition digital production center on the Troy campus, with news from Troy University locations around the world, this is Troy TrojanVision Nightly News.
Hello and welcome to Troy TrojanVision Nightly News for November 7, 2012. I'm Christina Cook.
And I am Bailey Majors. Thank you for joining us this evening. People from around the country bombarded the polling places to cast their ballot in yesterday's election. Rachel Scarborough sat down with Pike County probate judge to see how the election went.
The headline says it all. President Obama will get 4 more years in office, but that was not the only big election. In Pike County, there were a number of seats to fill, and Pike County probate judge Wes Allen says that this election year was a good turnout.
We got 21,127 registered voters in Pike County. A little over 14,000 came out and voted, so that represents 66% of the registered voters, and we thought it was a great turnout for Pike County.
And how does this compare to the 2008 voter turnout?
Well, 2008, we had 62% turnout to vote in 2008. That was about 13,900 people of registered voters turned out. It was an increase over 4 years ago, so we were excited about that. The poll workers had a good busy day, and they did a great job for us.
With seats to fill at both the national and local level, Allen says voters care about both elections.
I think it's equal. I think they care just as deeply about the local county commission seat as they do who's sitting in the White House.
Allen says there were no incidents at any of the polling places in Pike County. Rachel Scarborough, Troy, TrojanVision News.
We will hear more about the presidential election later on in the show.
The Student Government Association has been busy preparing for homecoming, but SGA senators are still working hard at improving student life. Justin Gardner has more on what some senators are doing.
Each week, the different committee heads within the SGA present what they are doing to advance their own personal responsibilities. Student welfare members will begin to ride with campus police officers to help eliminate risk factors for potential crimes and assaults.
Starting this week, so we're excited. Next meeting, he'll come back with some interesting stuff, hopefully.
We're very concerned for the welfare of the students, to unite with the security and the police force to show her or him areas on campus that we feel need more attention.
The Publicity Committee promotes Troy University events that greatly benefit departments within Troy University and also activities planned to draw Troy students into the local community.
Just really get that Trojan pride out there and let people know what's going on to support our team. This Thursday we have our bonfire pep rally. We haven't had a bonfire pep rally in about 3 years now, so we're really excited. It's going to be up on Sorority Hill. I think it's going to be really unique because it's not the typical go to the arena and then everyone just sits there. And then Saturday there is going to be a tailgating in downtown Troy, so that's going to start before the game and after the game. So there's going to be lots of bands and food and stuff going on down there. And the Trojan Walk, we can't forget about that. Kickoff's at 2:30, the Trojan Walk's at 12:15. So we want everyone out there to support our football team and show them that we're behind them 100%.
SGA Secretary and President of American Red Cross at Troy University has begun a drive to aid Superstorm Sandy victims.
We're collecting jackets, and these are going to go with Red Cross through the Salvation Army, actually, straight to the relief efforts from Hurricane Sandy.
How can you participate in relief efforts?
Come to the SGA office. There should be a box within the week there, or they can email redcross@troy.edu.
Judson Garner, Troy TrojanVision News.
For questions concerning upcoming SGA events and donation drives, you can stop by its office in the Trojan Center, room 215. Well, Bailey, all this week, Troy University has been celebrating International Education Week.
That's right, Christina, and one Troy organization gave students the opportunity to taste different cuisines from around the world. Wednesday afternoon, Troy University's International Student Cultural Organization, or ISCO, continued the celebration of International Education Week with their annual event, Taste of the World.
This is so much fun. This is like an international festival where we can taste the food and sample the beverages of the students that live on campus that are from other countries.
Something to eat, something to drink, and get a taste of things that they normally wouldn't have. It's the idea of the breadth of the culture of the university. It's all part of that.
Taste of the World gave Troy students the opportunity to try cuisine from different parts of the world and was an outlet for international students to share their culture with students from the United States.
For the international students, it's hard for them to get some of their foods when they're here in Troy, Alabama. But when they have the opportunity to share some of their favorite things, it really makes them feel very special, and they like sharing their culture with the American students.
Those who helped with the festival said it was a great way to celebrate the diverse culture on Troy's campus.
This is a very important aspect that helps people from different parts of the world to understand each other better.
Part of what we attempt to do here is bring together a venue where people can talk about where they come from, who they are, and to expose the American crowd to the world beyond Troy.
One Troy professor said Taste of the World was a good way for Troy students to be able to learn from one another because they were able to interact with each other.
But the idea of ISCO is to blend together with our American student base. You become appreciate other people's values and their ideas and so forth if you actually meet them, rather than just reading about them in a book.
International, we will continue tomorrow night with the ISCO Festival at 6 p.m. in the Trojan Center ballrooms. Tickets for the event are $10 for students and $17 for non-students and are available in the Pace Hall, room 114.
And now taking a look at news from around the state. In Montgomery, Republican Twinkle Andrews Kavanaugh has defeated Democratic incumbent Lucy Baxley for president of the Public Service Commission. Kavanaugh was sworn in this morning and started work immediately. Her priority will be helping create jobs.
And in Dothan, a jury has acquitted a former high school teacher who was accused of having sex with a student. Jurors in Houston County deliberated for about an hour yesterday before finding former Northview High School teacher Calvin Belthorpe not guilty.
And in Centerville, even a dead Republican beat a Democrat in the GOP sweep. The Republican nominee, who died almost a month before Election Day, beat the Democratic incumbent for a seat in the Bibb County Commission yesterday. Probate Judge Jerry Powell says Republican nominee Charles Beasley defeated Democratic Walter Sazin despite having died on October 12th. Beasley carried about 52% of the votes.
Still to come on Troy TrojanVision Nightly News. It might still be football season, but the basketball season is the big story this week. Danielle Percival will have all your Trojan sports details when she joins us.
But first, President Obama was re-elected for another term, but returns to the White House to face economic challenges. We'll have that story and more after the break.
President Obama wins the White House but returns home to the same divided Congress. I'm Tara Mergener with the latest coming up.
Traditional light bulbs actually generate 9 times more heat than light. Switch to Energy Star light bulbs, and you'll realize just how much cash you are really burning through. Saving energy saves you money. Learn more at EnergySavers.gov.
Thank you.
Thank you for serving.
Thank you.
We thank the troops for all the support they've given us. But how do we thank the ones who support them?
Thank you for your service.
Thanks USA provides scholarships to the spouses and children of our troops and helps give a future to the people who support the troops the most.
Thanks for supporting them.
Thank you for your dedication.
Go to ThanksUSA.org to see how you can express your appreciation for what they do, for our heroes.
Thank you.
Go to ThanksUSA.org now.
Thank you.
From the high-definition digital production studios of Troy University, you're watching the award-winning Troy TrojanVision Nightly News.
And now for a look at what's happening across the nation and around the world, we'll go to Christina Cook at the Global News Desk. Christina?
Thank you, Bailey. Not long after President Obama learned he would be in the White House 4 more years, he started making calls to congressional leaders. The election showed a country split down the middle, and both sides are talking a good game about compromise. As Tara Mergener reports from the White House, they'll have to reach a deal soon.
President Obama is headed back to Washington after a bitter battle to win a second term. He used his victory speech to reach out to the other side.
In the weeks ahead, I also look forward to sitting down with Governor Romney to talk about where we can work together to move this country forward.
Mitt Romney also called for compromise.
At a time like this, we can't risk partisan bickering and political posturing. Our leaders have to reach across the aisle to do the people's work.
Voters put President Obama back in the White House, but they also chose a divided Congress, recreating the same recipe for gridlock. Democrats are hanging on to the Senate, where Majority Leader Harry Reid says he'll work with Republicans, but won't let them push him around.
It's better to dance than to fight. It's better to work together. Everything doesn't have to be a fight.
Republicans are keeping control of the House, and Speaker John Boehner is standing his ground.
With this vote, the American people have also made clear that there's no mandate for raising tax rates.
Both parties will have to compromise by the end of the year to avoid the so-called fiscal cliff. If they don't, the country faces a rollback of tax cuts, as well as big cuts to defense and social programs. Tara Mergener for CBS News, the White House.
World leaders are welcoming President Obama's win. They're hoping his re-election will help fix the global economy and end the violence in the Middle East. Monica Villamizar reports from London.
The news spread instantly across the globe. U.S. President Barack Obama won another 4 years in office. The victory gave world markets a temporary boost.
And there's a general mood of confidence this morning, really, all around the world.
Russia welcomed the news. China's leaders said they're optimistic a second Obama term will give both countries time to improve their relationship. Israel's prime minister says he will continue to work with President Obama to protect Israeli citizens. British Prime Minister David Cameron was in the Middle East when the results came in. He vowed to work with President Obama to end the Syrian conflict and bring stability to the region.
And one of the first things I want to talk to Barack about is how we must do more to try and solve this crisis. But above all, congratulations to Barack.
Obama's re-election dominated British headlines. Printing presses stayed open late until the results were confirmed.
President Obama has huge support across Europe. One poll shows that if Europeans could vote, 9 out of 10 would choose Obama.
I'm very pleased. I wanted Obama to win, and I'm glad he got back again.
I was surprised, actually. I thought Romney might win.
While some Brits waited to read about the results, many Americans living overseas stayed up all night to wait for a winner.
He is just absolutely magnificent.
A London pub handed out masks with Obama's face to U.S. supporters who could not be home to celebrate. Monica Villamizar, CBS News, London.
Science is moving one step closer to helping infertile women get pregnant. Vanita Nair has more on the breakthrough research.
Many women struggle to get pregnant because the number of eggs they have and the egg's quality drops as women get older. But now researchers at Wake Forest Baptist Medical Center are experimenting with a process that can create new eggs from ovarian cells.
And then we're able to grow these cells outside the body. We are able to form the eggs again.
Scientists hope these early-stage eggs could one day be fertilized.
And the hope is, of course, to place those eggs right back into the same patient, so that there will be no rejection, and these are the patient's own eggs that they can be fertilized.
So far, doctors have only tested the process on rats, but the ultimate goal is to use it with people, so women can have another source of eggs which are their own.
It would give a huge boost to these patients' choices for fertility options. Right now, obviously, the most important thing for women to realize is that we don't have these options available yet.
And researchers at Wake Forest agree it will be quite some time before they can try to create eggs from women's cells. Vanita Nair for CBS News, New York.
And that wraps things up from the Global News Desk. To see more stories from across the country and around the world, such as how even just modest amounts of exercise can add years to your life, you can tune into TrojanVision Global News right after the nightly news. Now, back to you, Bailey.
Thank you, Christina. And now Danielle Percival joins us for a look at sports. So Danielle, usually football is the hot topic on campus, but tonight we're going to change things up a bit and highlight the basketball season.
That's right, Bailey. The big story is the basketball game on Friday night, the inaugural game in Trojan Arena. Very exciting for them. So let's get into a look at the basketball team.
All right.
Well, as can be expected with any start to the season, there are some new guys that look to make an immediate impact. One of those guys is Hunter Williams. Williams is a 6-foot, 175-pound guard that is stepping into the slot that another Williams filled last year. That would be Mo Williams, who was the Trojans' point guard last season and averaged 12 points per contest. This year's Williams scored 19 in the exhibition, but he wasn't the only Trojan in double figures. Returner Emil Jones posted a double-double with 12 points and 10 boards. And Coach Don Maestri said you don't find players like these two just anywhere.
Meal up in the turnip patch in Mississippi, and we found Hunter in the dang peanut farm in Florida. But the two, I don't want to brag on them too early, but the thing that they both do, they play with a little bit of calmness, and they keep their heads about them when during the game.
Well, Maestri will need those two key players to be on again Friday night at 7, taking on Mississippi State in the home opener and the inaugural first game in Trojan Arena. And with the big game against Mississippi State, football is taking the back burner for once. This isn't the ACC, but there are times when even in the South, basketball can come first. Something that both basketball and the football team need to do is focus on defense. The Trojan offense on Saturday against Tennessee put up nearly record numbers with over 700 yards of offense. However, the defense gave up almost as many. So how does the offense feel about the D's performance? Well, quarterback Corey Robinson said it's a combined team effort.
It works out. Sometimes, things, they're not going to go the right way for you all the time. But, we just got to keep lifting those guys up, man. We only scored 14 points to get North Texas and won. So it goes both ways. They've played good. We've played bad. We've played good. They've played bad. So it's gone both ways. Just kind of how our season's gone. But hopefully we can get it together, like I said, these last 3 games and, put together a couple wins.
Well, the importance of defense will be seen again this week as the Trojans face the triple option. Troy will take on Navy Saturday afternoon at 2:30 at Veterans Memorial Stadium. And after a comeback victory for the volleyball team on Saturday, the important thing now is not to get too confident. The Trojans were facing the top team in the conference Friday and were swept by Western Kentucky, but came back strong against Middle Tennessee. The Trojans are now 9-4 in conference play, with 2 of those losses coming against the Hilltoppers. But Coach Sonny Kirkpatrick knows just because they were able to win on Saturday, they can't get ahead of themselves.
I've said it before and I'll say it again, we're only as good as our next match. So hopefully we can be have a little bit of confidence going into this weekend. But if we don't do things the way we do them here in practice and the way we've been taught to do it on Friday in Miami, then we'll lose.
The Trojans' next matchup is against Florida International on Friday as part of their weekend trip to Florida to finish off the regular season. The 2013 Trojan softball schedule was released yesterday, and the highlight for Troy is at the end of the season. The team will play host to the Sun Belt Conference softball tournament for the first time since 2008. The Trojans will open the year taking part in 5 different tournaments, including the Quality Inn Classic in Troy on the 15th and 16th of February before beginning the Sun Belt schedule. Now, the first home games in conference play will be on March 23rd with a doubleheader against Louisiana Monroe. The Trojans are looking to build off a 31-24 season last year and will get the season started on February 8th against Georgia State at the Mississippi State Tournament. So, most of the time we are talking about football, and while there is another big game for the football team, they need to pick up a win in order to try and get bowl eligible. It's very exciting having basketball getting started and being able to play in the new Trojan Arena.
Absolutely, yeah. Definitely looking forward to both games this weekend. Can't wait to see our players play in the arena. It's going to be an exciting night for everybody.
That's right, and hopefully there's a big turnout.
Absolutely.
Thanks so much, Danielle.
Thank you.
Coming up on TrojanVision Nightly News, Aaron Taylor sits down with the women's basketball new head coach to talk about the season.
But first, so far this week we've seen warm and chilly temperatures. Can we expect cooler temperatures to stick around? Brittany?
Cooler evenings can be expected, but our days may change. Stay tuned for your local weather right up after the break.
I want to be a nurse practitioner, doctor, nurse.
I want to work in the NFL.
And as soon as I started athletic training, I fell in love with it.
Troy University's College of Health and Human Services prepares students for high-demand careers of today and tomorrow. Careers offering attractive pay and the opportunity to make a difference in the lives of others.
My courses aren't just classwork. I've worked with the Department of Human Resources to put my skills to work with helping people.
With bachelor's and advanced degrees in athletic training, sport and fitness management, nursing, human services, rehabilitation and social work, health education, and physical education, all of Troy's College of Health and Human Services programs are nationally accredited, and our helpful faculty is dedicated to quality and student success.
As long as you're willing to do the work, they're willing to sacrifice their time and effort to make sure that you get to your goal.
We change the world. Come join us.
Contact Troy University, where we educate the mind to think, the heart to feel, and the body to act.
from the high-definition digital production studios of Troy University. You're watching the award-winning TrojanVision Nightly News.
And now Brittany Drawdy joins us for a look at weather.
So, Brittany, it seems like in the daytime when we have the sun out, it's not that cool. It's a little chilly, but not, as cold as you might think. And as the night progresses, it seems like you have to put on a couple of more layers.
Right, the evenings are definitely cooling off quite a bit. Can be expected as we go throughout the week, but what people are really getting adjusted to is the time change. As we look at our campus snapshot, we can see it's already dark outside as people probably are heading home from work right now. It's definitely evening outside. Current conditions, mostly cloudy, temperature at 58, dew point 35 degrees, humidity at 42%, barometer at 29.94 and steady. Winds coming from the north-northwest around 10 miles per hour. Today's stats, high of 62, low of 36, no rain, sunrise at 6:02 a.m. and a sunset at 4:49 p.m. Partly cloudy in Mobile, 68. Huntsville, cooler as we see north of the state, 48 degrees there. Birmingham coming in 51, Montgomery at 57, Troy 59, Phoenix City 54, and Dothan coming in at 58. Cooler as we see across the state, we should be expecting it. It's going to cool off as we go into the evening. Current temperatures, Atlanta at 49, 52 in Columbia, 58 in Jacksonville. Cooler weather here in the southeast. Current temperatures, we can see the southeast is cooler towards the west. We see that warmer red area. Departure from normal, we can see the split right here. The west is seeing 20 degrees warmer for their highs. We're seeing 7 to 12 degrees cooler. Atlanta's seeing 17 degrees cooler than their normal highs are expected this time of year. Current surface, a couple of high pressures. We can see this low front here is causing a lot of the split that we're seeing with the temperature change. Current surface, we can see for us, it's moving right out of our area, so it shouldn't be affecting us too much. The cooler weather should be going on, and we should be warming up quite a bit. Next 48 hours, not going to be seeing that rain chance coming through, which is really nice as we're going into the weekend. Thursday staying clear. Friday staying cleared, wind staying to the west of us. Saturday, a lot going on to the west, but for us in the southeast, looks like a great football day for us. Sunday, it's coming towards us a little bit, but stays west, and we will be staying clear. Tonight's forecast, partly cloudy, light and variable winds. Make sure you take a jacket if you're going out. Winds are coming from the north-northwest, 5 to 10 miles per hour, so it's going to make that wind chill a little. It's going to seem cooler outside than it actually is. We are going to be dropping to 36, so be prepared for that. Tomorrow's forecast, mainly sunny skies. We're going to be seeing that light winds coming from the north-northwest around 7 miles per hour, and a high of 67, warming up slightly, so a little bit nicer of a day tomorrow. And for our 4-day forecast, Thursday, we're going to be seeing that sunshine coming back out. High of 67 with a low of 36, still cooling off for the evening. Friday, the sunshine 72. We're hitting the 70s. That's really nice. A low of 41 for the evening. Saturday, great football day. Perfect weather for the football game. 74 degrees for our high. 44 cooling off for the evening. Sunday, partly cloudy skies and a high at 75. So Christina, as we go throughout the week, our evenings are going to stay pretty cool. We're going to be seeing the 30s and the 40s, but for our days, we're going to be reaching 75, towards the weekend. And for the football game on Saturday, it'll be perfect weather, 74-ish, so be great that afternoon for football.
Yeah, that's a pretty good weather for the game and stuff like that. I think people should make sure that they still bring like a jacket and stuff like that to cover up their arms and some layers. But that is pretty good weather for a football game.
It'll be perfect.
Okay, thank you so much,
Thank
Brittany.
you.
Thank you.